McCarthy who stabbed it on. And Mcavennie has scored! It's a disaster for Liverpool! Here's Ward. Mcavennie going in. 2-1. He's beaten Grobbelaar to it again.
Hit below. It's there. Mcavennie.
Hello and welcome back to Irons United. It's Anton here, and obviously you can see we are with a West Ham legend, of course. I'm got the privilege to be able to meet Frank on my doorstep, which is great. Keen golfer, Frank?
I'm very keen golfer, yes. I'm member down here at Dundonald, which was great. I had the Scottish Open last year, which I'm delighted about. I didn't play golf when I played football, to be honest with you, but I do now.
So you're finding a bit of the time now and coming out in the nice weather, which always makes a bit of a difference.
Well, I joined Dundonald because I can play in the winter as well, and I always remember my roommate took up golf and he became a tremendous golfer, Julian Dix. So Dix is unfortunately his knees don't let him play now, but what a golfer he was.
Brilliant, good. Well, listen, Frank, just to give our viewers, obviously I've explained to you we've got a kind of YouTube channel, so Frank, obviously, for any of the fans that weren't too sure, the young ones out there, 2 spells at West Ham, 1986 to 87, then 1989 to 92, over 190 appearances for the club. Yeah.
Second spell. John Lyle gets sacked and they brought in Lou McCarthy, which I wasn't happy about.
I don't know if you were the only one that wasn't happy about it.
No, I don't think. I think, to be honest with you, he was my idol at Celtic, and I thought, well, I didn't want John Lyle to go. I thought it was the wrong thing. John should have been upstairs. I thought Bonzo or Alvin Martin, somebody should have took over the club with John still there. It didn't happen. So, but Lou was my idol and he played some great football, but management style was not the same as his football style.
Yeah, of course. So we've got over 50 goals for the club, West Ham. Prolific at St Mirren and Celtic as well, of course. Couple of stints at each of the clubs. Lightning pace, accurate finishing, but also arguably the star of the boys of '86. I mean,
to be honest, I preferred myself to be known as a team player. I played 4 years in midfield at St Mirren. That's where I started my career. So it was John. I think people know the young boys will not remember. The young boys, Paul Goddard got injured the first game of the season, and I get put up on the Tuesday. And myself and Tony struck up a wonderful partnership. We scored 50 odd goals between us. I mean, we scored over 100 goals in 2 seasons, myself and Tony. So that was not bad. And that's
going obviously down in West Ham history and one of the best partnerships, if not arguably the best partnership we've had at the club.
Strikers, Anton, but individually great strikers, and but as a partnership, I think we were different class.
You were the one. So just a couple of questions here. Whilst playing for St Mirren in Scotland, when did you first hear of West Ham's interest, and how did you feel about it?
I found out about it when I declined Luton Town. I said no, I wasn't signing, and the manager says West Ham want to speak to you, and I was a bit peeved off, to be honest with you, because if I'd signed for Luton, I wouldn't have known anything about West Ham. So I was a bit annoyed.
Lucky then.
Yeah, well, not lucky. It was a big chairman of Luton slapped me in the back of the head and said welcome to Luton. And I didn't know whether to shake his hand or put the head on him because it was pretty sore. So I was quite annoyed with the guy, because nobody does that to you. So
what was your kind of take on West Ham?
Even I knew West Ham won the World Cup, so
Yes, he knows it. He knows it. He gets the fans going.
Yeah, well, it's great because the Scottish boys are, I mean, the great Bobby. I was very fortunate to have a couple of meals out with Bobby and Stephanie. So I to meet people like Bobby Moore and obviously Jeff or Sir Jeff and and Martin Peters is great to meet these kind of guys, and and there's a lot of people, Trevor Brook and that, walking about the club. It's just the boys played football and they play football the way it should be played. There's none of this nonsense nowadays that coaches complicate the game. Get the ball down and play.
Of course, Frank, it's funny you talk like you are a fan, and we all know you are a fan. But the way you talk about those players is the way that all the fans see you as well as one of our players up there. Your name's around the ground, and every single West Ham fan should know who Frank Mcavennie is, and of course they do. What was it like to play under John Lyle? Obviously,
it was the best manager for me. I mean, him and Billy McNeil were my 2 greatest managers. Different aspects of the game, but John was so knowledgeable. In '86, all the formations I'm doing now, we done in '86. We had it worked out. Some of the girls that are coming into the game now, and no disrespect to the girls, but they're making up names for things that we done in '86, you know, and it's all becoming part and parcel of the game now, and they're bringing in phrases and names, and you know, it's just, they call it high press now. We done it, and the manager said, as soon as Frank goes, everyone follow, and that was it. I was the trigger. So when I went, everyone followed me, and that was it.
Wow. Amazing stories, and I mean, playing under two great managers, and obviously the sad news recently with regards to Billy McNeil, so may he rest in peace. Talk to me about the boys of '86. Obviously it's an important era for West Ham. I mean, we were so close yet so far. What was your feelings that season, just in a kind of nutshell, I suppose, you know?
My idol, Kenny Dalglish, one of the ladies, Kenny Dalglish, told me we were the best team in the league that year. So, and Liverpool won it. The young boys will not remember, but it wasn't the league. It wasn't any teams that we got beat, obviously, that year. But we didn't play for 6 weeks. We didn't play for 6 weeks, which was horrendous with the weather. And then we had to play, and young boys will laugh at this, we had to play Saturday, Monday and Wednesday for 5 weeks.
We certainly would be happy with that now, would they?
And you remember the pitches we played on, so they wouldn't even train on their pitches now, and we had to play them, and we loved every minute of it. We had a great squad, we had a great bunch of guys, we were very, very close, even now. You know, I was over at Tony's wedding a few years ago, and it was great. Tony's been to a cut of mine.
Brilliant. But I mean, that obviously, you know, who were the bit, apart from yourself, obviously, who were the best characters in the changing room? I suppose during that era in particular.
Tony Gale was, you know, Reg. He was a funny boy, but you know what? We were all our own little wordy Scousers, Alvin Martin. You know, great. Phil Parks, Alan Devonshire. We're great lads. You know, it was Dicko was the quiet one. Alan Dickens, Neil Orr, and but it was good. It was just some good people in the team, you know. And Ray Stewart at right back, what a player he was for, you know. He'd been a Scotsman, but he's didn't, you know, if he wasn't so good at taking the penalties, I might have got more goals that year, you know. So.
But I mean, you built up a rapport, and like you said, you had all the characters under the sun with that rapport. So I mean, that must have been the key to it. Is all different personalities, but came as one unit, and it's something you maybe don't get with a lot of teams these days. Maybe in particular,
they don't talk to each other now. They're different languages, and they've all got interpreters. You know, I know I'd have done with an interpreter. You know.
Listen,
I've seen them on TV. Yeah, great. No, it was a good team, a winning mentality. We used to make sure every month we had a sort of a night out, and you know, we'd go in for a meal, and we had it, and if there was any problems, we got it out. Yep. You know, then and then. I remember the biggest thing, they wouldn't do it now, but we went start the season. We lost a couple of games, and we had a meeting, and we were in the dressing room after training for 2 hours. No coaches, no management, just the players. And we sorted a few things out, and there was a few heated moments in that changing room, but it was a passion and the will to win. We were all winners. We wanted to win. We wanted to do well for West Ham, and after that we went on a 18-game unbeaten run. I mean, it was like incredible how you can just sit and sort it out. No airs and graces. There was nobody, no prima donnas in our changing room. Yeah. We get told, you know, people get told what was expected of them, and it worked.
You mentioned something there about subtitles. I was getting slagged off before we came on here because obviously I've got my accent, you've got your accent, so we may have to put a little subtitle section at the bottom for the show today. Frank, let me just quickly check if that's alright, and then I'll come back to it. No worries. So you mentioned earlier on partnership with Tony COYI. You netted 26 goals in that particular season, and league goals either. So we've actually interviewed a few ex-pros, and we're starting to realise, and we probably should do our research a bit more, because we do mention that in the pros go league goals. You need to always count the cut ones as well. COYI netted 20. Why did the partnership work?
Just, you know what, believe it or not, my accent was a lot stronger when I went down. So probably Tony couldn't understand what I was saying. But I'm a great believer. Good players can play with each other, and we had this sort of a telepathy, or whatever you call it, that way it worked, you know. And I would like to think I'm not just Tony's an out-and-out striker, you know. But there was an old joke: if Tony's going through and goal, I would go for the rebound because Tony's not going to pass. But as if I'm going through and goal and Tony runs up beside me, I'll draw the keeper and give it him. Yeah. I was a team player. Yeah. Tony, and I've not got a problem with that. Tony was an out-and-out striker, and I'd get Tony as many goals as he wanted because I just wanted to win. Yeah. So if the goals came along fine, you know, I'd take them. So it was good. It was a good partnership, but the whole team was worked well together.
Start from the back, worked its way all the way up to the top, and then obviously from the coaching, management side, etc. Listen, what was a lot of goals there to talk about? What was your favourite goal at the club?
Biggest game for me was going to Chelsea and spanking them. It was great because all I heard was London, you know, Kings of London was Chelsea and all that, and we went there and absolutely battered them. Yeah. You know, it was great.
Yeah. So best game? Would that be the same?
Probably, yeah. It was. Yeah. You know, there's a few games I love playing. I know a lot of the boys will say this, but I love playing under the lights at Upton Park. Just the atmosphere was tremendous. Yeah. It was special, you know, and it reminded me of playing on European nights, you know, when I'm at Celtic. That was the only thing that got close to that. But it was good. It really was. It was just some of the games we played against Everton, scored a couple and rounded Neville Southall. Yeah. You know, I thought I was never going to get round him. He was that big, but sorry, Nev.
Brilliant. I mean, listen, there is a question for later on, but I'll quickly talk about it now just because you mentioned it. Upton Park, London Stadium, how do you think we've transitioned into the stadium? What's your honest, can you give it honest?
Well, I think the fans didn't take to it at first, but the players didn't play at Upton Park really. A lot of players now coming through, they don't, listen, it's all money now. Players come from abroad and they don't care about the atmosphere, they don't care about and it's a shame because I'm a great believer. West Ham are probably one of the best supported clubs. Yep. Well, next month I'm going to Helsinki for the West Ham Supporters Club. Yep. And then the month after that I'm going to Dubai for the Dubai's Hammers, and you know, I'm keep going. I'm loving it. Hammers fans are all over the world, and when I'm not doing that, I'm going to Celtic supporters clubs. It's great.
Yeah, no, brilliant. I mean, the fans do love you, Frank. I mean, I think you know that. I've met you a few times. I'm not expecting you to meet and remember it, but
I'm actually going for a night out in Helsinki. Can you believe that? I'm going
through the West Ham connection.
They're paying me to go for a night out.
And obviously, Scandinavia is a quality place, so we've got our good friends in Scandinavian Hammers, so they kind of. They're taking you over, so they're our good friends actually. So no, that would be brilliant. Listen, we know you had a serious injury with West Ham. How was life after that? Really at West Ham?
It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same when I came back. You know, I got a really bad injury in first game of the season as well. So it was hard for me. It was soul destroying when you're injured like that. Yeah. And to fight with the manager the way I did, because he wanted me to stay in Stoke. And the guy says, you won't walk right, never mind play football again. The guy in the accident emergency. So, in my best Scottish accent, the most polite way I could tell him, I told him where to go. And I told the manager to get the bus round, and if somebody's going to finish my career, it'll be a surgeon in London rather than Stoke. Yeah. And I went into Stoke and I arrived at the hospital about 1 a.m, and surgeon came in at 2 and says, yeah, I'll sort it. Oh. I wasn't right, I was about 80%. But to be fair, that was, you know, it was good enough. Yeah,
it was enough for you to come back and play for the Claret and Blue of West Ham. I mean, you signed off your career with West Ham in style.
I know. Well, it was one of them. Bonzo was the only manager that noticed that I wasn't right. Yeah. Because he knew me before I played, and he says, "You're not right. You're limping," and it was a shame. Yeah. So, but he wanted to bring his own team in and all that, and that was the. I was fine with that, you know, and. So, as you say, I started at Upton Park my first night, Tuesday night. I scored 2 goals against QPR. Yeah. And I finished off against Nottingham Forest with 3, which is not bad.
Yeah. How was it leaving West Ham?
Terrible, I didn't want to leave. I actually came back. I went to Swindon on loan when I was at Celtic. Mcavennie came to Celtic and I had to go away because he haunted me. So I had to go away and I went to Swindon and we played against West Ham and it was so terrible. Yeah. I didn't want to play. Yeah. And I'm in midfield too. I was in midfield. Right, so they put me back in midfield. Yeah, so I know I didn't. So I'm playing midfield against Team Bishop, my pals, and Martin Allen and Mad Dog and all that. We're all playing. So and it was good fun because I made Mad Dog straight away. So that was good.
I like that, would he?
Oh, he wasn't happy, but he took it because it was me. He just laughed. So, yeah. Anyone else would have got upended, but he seen the funny side of it.
Do you feel like you're an adopted? I mean, I've heard little kind of comments. I get the comments. I'm a jockney. That's what they call me. You know, we adopted jockney.
Well, listen. I think the biggest thing is there was only one. I'm very loyal, and I went to when I had the chance to go to Arsenal, who were going to win the league, and I'm back to West Ham because I'm loyal and I love the fans. The fans were great to me, and I'm pals with the ICF boys. They looked after me. Yeah. So listen, I'm very loyal, and anyone, the fans, I didn't have to prove myself when I'm back here. Yeah. That's what I wanted.
Do you still kind of get that vibe from the fans now? You get a lot of contact,
My missus has never seen all that, and I went to just before Upton Park closed, and we went down, and I was with Russell Brand and doing a TV thing, and then I was walking through the stand to get to the boxes because I was there. West Ham people asked me to go in the boxes and say hello to all the fans and all that. I said, yeah, no problem. So I'm walking under the stand 10 minutes before the half time, and I thought I'd get under before they all come out. Too late, they all come out, didn't they? And they were all singing my name and all that, and it was great. I mean, for me, but my missus hadn't seen that, and she's like, my God.
So it must be a different kind of thing, you living up here as well, and then going down south and taking some family members down, and they're like, what's going on here, Frank?
A bit of respect down there. I mean, don't get me wrong, the fans love me up here, but down there, it's magnificent. I love the fans.
Yeah, of course, brilliant. Best ever player at West Ham you've played with?
Played with Alan Devonshire. Yeah. No question. No question. Just Dev was brilliant. Yeah. And he used to say, my first night up on Tuesday night of playing, and he said to me, when I get the ball, there'll be 3 or 4 players around me. And I thought, hey, the fuck, you think you are? And he says, I'll just knock it into you and just let it off, and I'll come and get it off you. And I thought, how easy is that? Yeah. And it was true. That's what he done. He just used to knock it and run towards me. I lay it off, and I'd go take the defender away, and he'd just run on it. It was incredible. Game was easy for Dev. Yeah. He made the game so easy, and it was. I love playing, with people like that. And
you've got players like that, and then you've got your partnership alongside up top. It's just kind of glows and kind of grows.
Everything worked. As John said, it was Wardy was great, and Dicko, and it was good. It was good, really good. But Alvin and Gailey were not bad players, and they continued their careers on a bit longer at West Ham as well. But I mean, we're going to quickly just talk about this season as well in particular. But as a whole, Frank, West Ham to you, what does it mean to be a West Ham ex-player and fan? It's great because I go back and everyone, the ladies and that still work there, and Macca, come on and talk to me and all that, and it's great. And even Snoddy's phoned me up and says, West Ham are in for me. What do you think? And I was like, what do I think? You're having a laugh, aren't you? I said, if you get a chance, you had the chance to go to Watford. And I said, West Ham's the chance to go to Watford. And I said, West Ham's the team. If you just give 100%, which he does, then the fans will love you. And he didn't show it the first time he came round, because I don't think...
Was he given a shot, really, though?
I think a manager wanted it. Slaven didn't know him. Yeah. Said, where'd you play? It's not right. Yeah. So, in that respect, then I didn't like the chairman having a go at him when he wasn't there, when he went out and loan. That was terrible. So, and I had a wee pop, but I know Snods, and he's a good lad, and the fans are now seeing, listen, he's not the most skillful, he's no Messi, but he will put some effort in, and that's what he's doing, and the fans love him now because he's... We
have seen that. I mean, I having a fan channel, we're trying to be, we don't want to be too critical, but we have to be critical at some points, and for a while there, we weren't too sure about where Snod's at, and we just wanted the 100%. But equally, like you said, Frank, was he given a shot? Not particularly in the first season, and then he's gone away, done his thing on loan at Aston Villa, come back and proven himself this year. Rate the season's just passed for West Ham and Pellegrini. What's your thoughts on the season just passed and Pellegrini?
Pellegrini, I think he's a manager that can. I think he can take us forward. Yep. Definitely, I think that he's the coaching staff. I think he needs a couple of good signings. I don't know. Is a boy for the ex-Arsenal boy? Is he signing? Call him. No, I can't remember. My head's gone battered with the sunshine. Believe it or not. The boys came for Arsenal to get banned. Midfield player. With Lanzini and all that. I mean, these players. I don't know if they can play them all. Anderson, Lanzini.
Wilshere.
No, Wilshere. Nazi. Skillful players. Even Wilshere. Skillful. And then you've got Declan and the captain Nob. So you've got a good squad there. You've got a really good squad. If they can get the balance right, and Snods, of course, can come into the fold, and he's got a good midfield there. So he's got a good balance that he can go. Me personally, I'd get rid of Anantovic. I just think he's not want to be there. I don't think he wants to be there. So if you don't want to be, get out. You want to go to China and win your medals, go and buy some.
How can a player like that come back from something like that? I mean, can they?
Listen, he came back and he's a good player, but he's not for me. Listen, get a good striker in. and get him out. You know, because it's for what I hear, he's upsetting the dressing room as well, which is not very good.
Listen, another quick question here, just on a bit of a random one. What's your thoughts on? I can clarify this. What's your thoughts on? You probably know yourself. There's a lot of leaks that come out of the club, in particular regarding signing transfers, leaking team news. What impact does that have? An impact on the dressing room, from your opinion, or in West Ham in general and the fan base?
Well, I think so. I think it's coming, but they've got to get to the bottom of it, because someone thought it was German Son, and the blame is getting passed about. So you've got to get to the bottom, because you know, if it was German Son, you've got to say, look, I didn't know, I was just saying, and it came out, or if it's not him, then you still got to know, because then take the blame away for him, or whoever it is, because you can't have that. You know, you can't the game's not like that. You know, like the Leeds manager spying and people. You shouldn't do that in football. You know, we don't want the foreigners. We love what they bring to the game, but not that. That side.
You change it to that.
Not that. You know, we love the ability that the foreigners bring to the Premier League, not just West Ham, but we don't need to do that. You know, it's disrespectful. Yeah.
In your opinion, who's your kind of favourite top player at West Ham just now?
West Ham, I like your boy Anderson. You know, I do, but Declan, he doesn't know what he is. He's Irish or English or what.
He'll be signing up for Scotland next.
Scotland, get him. I'll say he's got a granddad somewhere. I'm sure he's been up to Scotland a couple of times. So get him in the Scotland squad. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But
it's funny you say that about Anderson. There's a lot of fans out there that kind of dig him out because they say this whole tracking back malarkey that he does. But you know, sometimes I'm going to take this from your point of view. Do you want a player like that tracking back every 2 minutes?
No, listen. In today's game, midfield players have got to do the first years. But unfortunately for West Ham, they've got too many of they kind of players. You know, luxury players, I call them. Dev done his work, but he was a luxury player. But he tracked back. He couldn't tackle a for supper, but you know, that was just what he done. You know, he was a great player when he got the ball going that way. But Anderson's the same. But when you've got Nasri, Lanzini, people like that, Wilkshire, you know, Wilkshire I suppose can tackle. He's a bit of a tackler, but you need to. We've got too many players that are injured at West Ham. We need players that, you know, they won't bring me, but I could play more games than some of them.
Listen, I'm pretty adamant we'd like to see that. If you can.
Give me 50 grand a week, I'll come back and go and I've got a line the treatment room. I can do that.
Happy days. Yeah. Only a couple more questions to go, Frank. What do we need to take us to the next level, realistically?
A couple of players. We need a goal. For me, you need a proper goal scorer. You know, I would love to, and it's just, and I know I'm going to get shot down in flames. I would love the fans to get the stadium, a football stadium. Do you know what was annoying me? I walked into the stadium and there's Bobby Moore and Sir Jeff Hurst and all this. And then there's Linford Christie and some woman that's jumped 500 yards on one leg or something, whatever. And I'm going, who are these people? I mean, it's just lazy. For me, when it's a football stadium, turn it into a football stadium. Yeah. When it's an athletic stadium, they don't want to see footballers up there. No. So when you come to see athletics, put the athletic people up there. But it's losing money, so give it to West Ham, let them buy it, turn it into a football stadium like Man City did. Yeah. You know, and cause there's nothing wrong with the location. Yeah. I think it was all wrong. It was all done wrong because they're not letting you walk through the Westfield Centre and all that, and you've got to walk miles and. Get it back to being a football stadium, because I'm sure the Westfield Centre would love to see fans come through and spend some money in the shops. You know, I thought that's what it was. I thought the women would go there, the guys would go to the game, meet up after a bite to eat, and everyone's happy. And everyone generates money. I know you can't. Yeah, I know you can't get near the place. You've got to walk 3 miles round there, and then when you get there, you need binoculars to see it. And it's a bit embarrassing. I think bring it in, get it together. I think it will happen. It's just a matter of time.
We had before we go, we had your mate Bishop on about a couple of months ago. He skyped in. He skyped in from Florida. He was telling us some funny stories, and one in particular story was it wasn't yourself. I think he was in a room and he was drinking a pint of Guinness, and he went out to the breakfast, and Harry Redknapp was sitting there, and he could look over the view to Bishop's room and to the glasses of pints of Guinness were sitting on the windowsill, and he was trying to take Harry Redknapp's mindset away from it. But I'm just looking for any kind of funny story you can give us from your days at West Ham that you're willing to.
Dixie.
Yes, here it comes.
Me and Dixie played. I'm not going to tell the one about me and Wardy.
Please.
No, you can't. No.
Off scene.
No, it's me and Dixie. We were playing Swindon, and Jimmy Quinn was here, and he was staying over. He used to play with Swindon. He was staying over, and he had his golf clubs. Yeah. So he says, look, I'm sharing with Martin Allen. He said, I can't have my golf clubs in the room. So for some reason, he trusted me and Dixie with his golf clubs. Now, to be honest with you, my threshold and Julian's threshold for boredom is very small. So, we get bored very easily. So we thought, what are we going to do? So we got the golf clubs out in the room. So we thought, what are we going to do? So there's a door, and there's a wee wall between the ceiling and the door. She says, right, you've got to hit the wall one bounce. And there used to be a metal bin in the rooms at the days. So we put the bin there, so we got the clubs out, and I've got a wedge and chipping it. And it kept hitting the door. Kept banging the door. That's all you heard. All you heard, and hitting it off. And then we decided we'll hit the wall and bounce it, open the window and get out in the window. So this is what we're doing. You can imagine the noise. Oh. And anyway, after about an hour or something, there's golf balls everywhere, golf balls in the garden. And we're having such a laugh. Me and Dixie, couple of kids in the door went, and I'm like, Dixie, it's a gaffer. It's Bonzo, Billy Bonds. So he's gone up, and Bonzo's face, I swear on it, when I've opened the door, he didn't know what was going on in the room. And it was like a look of, oh, thank God for that, when he seen all the golf balls and all that.
Thought it was going to be the next breaking story.
He thought, oh, what are these boys doing? Because all this noise in this room, and he didn't know, he thought it was a party going on, it was funny. So Bonzo went, oh, I don't even want to know, and just walked away.
And left his their games again. What was Bonzo like?
It was great. Bonzo is what you see is what you get. Yeah. He's a lovely, lovely man. He was honest with me, people say he didn't. I hated training, and Bonzo loved training, so we never got on. Yeah. Me and Dixie, he didn't like me and Dixie. He was running with us at the back, and we're doing a run round Romford, and he was giving all this, I'll run with you, and he couldn't run at your pace, so he went away. And we're going down London Road, and this milk float guy, Macca, how you doing? I stopped him. Julian, how you doing? I said, give us a lift. He went, oh yeah, he thought we were going that way. I said, no, you've got to go that way. So me and Dixie are sitting, we moved, I used to be a milk boy, and we moved all the crates, and me and Dixie are in the middle, because it's big, you can see through the milk floats. So me and Dixie are in the middle of the crates, and moving round, and Ronnie Boyce was at one corner, Tony Carr was at another corner, and Hilts, and so we drove by, and we sat up the top of this road, and all the boys are running by us, and we were sitting in the milk float. And we cut through this wee lane and ran down, and we ended up getting in about 6th. Bonds was going, different class, boys, brilliant. So we got showered and we went, and he was phoning Ronnie, where are you? Macca and Dixie's no past us. No, they hadn't had a shower. So the coaches were still standing waiting and us passing them.
Oh, brilliant.
So that was funny. So we get fined for that. That was good.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant stories though. Frank, message to West Ham fans that watch our channel, and just to any West Ham fan in general.
Keep the faith, keep it going, because it's a great club.
Yeah, absolutely. Frank, listen, thank you so much for taking the time out to meet us today. Listen, make sure you subscribe to the channel, get your comments in below, hit the thumbs up, and hopefully in the future I'll maybe be able to meet up with you, Frank, and maybe we'll have a couple of beers over it. Listen, thanks for